Part 1. The Hidden Circuit of Power. There's a truth so ancient and powerful that it's been buried beneath centuries of distraction, diluted teachings, and spiritual misdirection. You won't find it in textbooks or mainstream science. You won't even find it in most spiritual circles, because those who have truly mastered it rarely speak of it openly. They don't need to. They live it. They use it. And they shape the world around them without ever lifting a finger. Because they've unlocked a forbidden energy hack, a hidden current that bends reality to match their inner command. And now we're going to journey into that secret. Imagine this. A man walks into a room and says nothing, but everyone turns to look at him. He doesn't demand attention, he vibrates with it. A woman visualizes something with such clarity, such intensity, that it begins to unfold in her life within days. Not because she's lucky, not because she's special, but because she understands the mechanics of energy and influence. You've seen these people. Maybe you've envied them. Maybe you've dismissed them. But deep down, you've always sensed that they knew something you didn't. The truth is, they do. There is a circuit, a frequency, a state of being that when activated makes your thoughts magnetic, your presence undeniable, and your desires inevitable. It's not magic. It's not manipulation. It's energy mastery. And while the elite have access to this knowledge through private teachings, ancient schools, and secret orders, but it has always been available to those with eyes to see and hearts willing to remember. Because this isn't something new. It's something primordial, something encoded in the structure of your being.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
We begin with your inner field, not your thoughts, not your emotions, but the space they arise from. This field, the subtle body, the energetic matrix, is like a broadcasting station. Most people never tune it. They're broadcasting static, conflicted thoughts, repressed emotions, unconscious beliefs. And the universe responds with matching chaos. But when you tune this field, when you clear it, charge it, and align it, you become a coherent signal. And the universe, which is fundamentally vibrational, cannot help but respond. So how do the elite do it? How do they bend reality without effort? They don't chase results. They don't try to fix the outer world. Instead, they master their inner voltage. They know that everything external is a delayed mirror of the internal. So they start their day not with reaction, but with ritual. Breath work to charge the field. Cold water to reset the nervous system. Visualization to lock in the frequency. They don't hope. They embed. They install new realities into the field through repeated, coherent, embodied states. But here's the forbidden part, the part no one speaks of. They understand the power of non-thought. While the masses are addicted to overthinking, the elites slip into the gaps between thought. Because the zero-point field, the place of pure potential, doesn't speak in language. It responds to vibration, and pure vibration arises from silence. In this silence, they plant the seed of intention, not with desperation, not with doubt, but with absolute knowing, like dropping a command into a responsive universe. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful people often speak the least, but when they do, it's unforgettable? That's not charisma. That's field coherence. Their words are backed by an energetic charge that most people never cultivate. They don't speak to be understood, they speak to transmit. And that transmission reshapes reality. That's the forbidden hack. They've learned to charge their words, their thoughts, and their presence with energetic authority. But this isn't reserved for the elite. You can access it. In fact, you were born with it. The problem is, it was trained out of you. From childhood, you were taught to look outside yourself for answers, and to follow rules, to suppress emotion, or to fear failure. This conditioning dimmed your field, blocked your channels, and disconnected you from your source code. But the code is still there, and once you reactivate it, you'll remember what it means to live as a creator. Let's go deeper. Your energy field is structured like a circuit's 7 primary energy centers, or chakras, each vibrating at a different bandwidth. But most people only operate from 2 or 3, fear in the root, desire in the sacral, identity in the solar plexus. The elite, however, have activated the full circuit. They've learned to combine lower drive with higher vision, emotional magnetism with spiritual detachment. When your entire system is online, you're not just thinking, you're transmitting. Now ask yourself, what are you transmitting right now? Not what are you thinking, not what are you saying, but what are you being? Because reality doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your frequency. And your frequency is not just shaped by your affirmations or your goals, it's shaped by your unconscious programs, your somatic memory, your baseline emotional state. If you don't clear these, you're trying to manifest from a fractured field. That's like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. The forbidden energy hack begins with purging the static. This means confronting your shadows, not spiritually bypassing them. It means feeling your suppressed emotions fully, without judgment, until they dissolve. It means detoxing your body, your environment, your digital inputs. Because every piece of data you consume either charges or drains your field. The elite are ruthless with their inputs. They guard their attention like a sacred flame, because attention is energy, and wherever you place it, you're casting a spell. Next comes coherence. This is the alignment of thought, emotion, and action. When you say one thing, feel another, and do a third, you send scrambled signals into the field. But when all 3 align, you become a force of nature. You walk into a room, and things shift. You think of someone, and they text. You visualize a goal, and synchronicities appear. This isn't coincidence. This is coherence, and coherence is the signature of power. But coherence alone isn't enough. You must also master stillness under intensity. This is the elite's true secret. They can hold their frequency even when the world collapses. They don't react, they respond. They don't chase, they magnetize. When chaos erupts, they become more still, more centered. Because they know that the eye of the storm is where creation happens. Can you hold your frequency when nothing around you supports it? Can you remain loyal to your vision even in darkness? That's the test. That's the gateway. Most people abandon the field when reality doesn't bend fast enough. But the elite know, delay is not denial, it's data. It's refinement. It's energetic alignment catching up to physical form. So they wait, not with anxiety, but with knowing. And in that knowing, reality begins to shift. But there's one more layer, the most forbidden of all. and that is emotional charge. Emotion is the electricity of manifestation. The more emotion you can hold around a vision without clinging, without doubting, the faster it materializes. Most people suppress emotion. The elite amplify it. They cry, laugh, scream, dance, not to release, but to charge. They turn their bodies into generators. And then they direct that energy into intention, into thought, into creation. So now I ask you, what would happen if you stopped giving energy to what you fear and started pouring it into what you know is yours? What if you woke up every day and chose your state instead of reacting to the world's noise? What if you became so coherent, so electrically charged, so vibrationally aligned that the universe had no choice but to rearrange itself around you? Because that's what this hack is. It's not a trick. It's not a shortcut. It's a return to your original power. The elite didn't invent it. They remembered it. And now you are too. The only question is, will you use it? Will you step beyond thought into frequency? Beyond effort into embodiment? Beyond hoping into knowing? Because once you do, the game changes. You stop playing by the rules. You start writing them. And that's when reality bends, not someday, not maybe, but now. Part 2, the invisible machinery of influence. Most of humanity walks through life as if reality is fixed, as if their lives are predetermined by genetics, social class, or circumstance. We've been conditioned to believe that change happens slowly, that transformation requires years, and that power is something granted by others. But the true elite, the ones who bend reality with their mere presence, know something radically different. They understand that reality is not fixed, it's fluid. It's a stream of potential that flows in the direction of your dominant frequency. And when you learn to master that frequency, you stop waiting for life to happen and begin authoring it. There is an invisible machinery behind everything you perceive, and that machinery is built on energy. Not the kind you plug into your wall, but the kind that pulses behind your thoughts, your breath, your heartbeat. This energy is intelligent, it's responsive, and it's programmable. The moment you realize that your energy field is a transmitter, not just a receiver, you begin to engage life from a different altitude. You stop reacting to what is and begin influencing what will be. Let's go deeper. What is the forbidden energy hack the elite use? It is the conscious manipulation of internal state to override external circumstances. They don't wait for the world to make them feel powerful. They generate the power from within, and the world adjusts to match. That's the reversal. That's the master key. They understand that emotion is a steering wheel and attention is fuel. If you can direct both with precision, you can bend timelines. But emotional control doesn't mean suppression. It means amplification. They don't numb. They channel. Every emotion, fear, joy, grief, ecstasy, is energy. And energy, when directed with intention, becomes creative force. Most people leak it. The elite direct it. They use breath, movement, sound, and visualization to alchemize raw emotion into frequency. And then they tune that frequency to match their intended reality. Here's the secret most never hear. The universe doesn't speak English. It doesn't understand your goals, your to-do lists, your vision boards. It understands vibration. It responds to certainty. When you can feel something so fully that your body believes it's already real, that's when the field shifts. That's when the impossible becomes inevitable. That's when you stop manifesting and start remembering, because the future you desire already exists in the quantum field. You're not creating it, you're collapsing into it. Now ask yourself, how many times have you visualized a goal but doubted it would happen? That doubt is a distortion. It breaks the signal. The elite eliminate doubt not because they're special, but because they've trained their nervous system to trust. They've practiced entering high-frequency states so often that it becomes their default. Reality has no choice but to respond. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. They also understand something deeper, something most never consider. Your body is your antenna. Every cell, every organ, every nerve fiber is part of a larger energetic system. If your body is tense, inflamed, or disconnected, your signal is scattered. You can't manifest clearly from a chaotic body. That's why the elite obsess over cellular health, breathwork, grounding, sun exposure, and movement. They are not just biohacking, they are field hacking. They are fine-tuning the instrument that broadcasts their reality. And here's where the magic turns mystical. The pineal gland, often called the third eye, is not symbolic. It's literal. It's a crystalline antenna that, when activated, allows you to receive and transmit across dimensions. The elite stimulate this gland through stillness, breath retention, and high-frequency thought. When activated, it produces DMT, naturally a chemical that opens doorways into other realms. This is not fiction. It's biology, it's physics, and it's being used right now, in silence, behind closed doors, by those who shape the world. But this isn't about conspiracy. This is about choice. You are not excluded from this knowledge. You are being invited back into it. The only reason it was ever hidden is because it is powerful. And power in the hands of the unaware becomes chaos. That's why the ancient initiates spent years preparing their minds and bodies before being given access to these truths. But we are in a new era now, a time when the veils are thinning and the secrets are being returned to those who are ready. So let me ask you, are you ready to take responsibility for your frequency? Are you willing to stop blaming your past, your parents, your culture, and start vibrating a new signal? Because the moment you do, the machinery begins to respond. You will feel the difference immediately. People will look at you differently. Opportunities will arise. Coincidences will become normal. Why? Because you stopped waiting for reality to change, and you became the change. The elite also understand the role of symbols and rituals. To the uninitiated, these things seem superstitious or aesthetic. But in truth, they are programming tools. A symbol is a geometric container of energy. A ritual is a time loop that codes the field. When done with intention, they amplify focus and direct energy through specific channels. That's why ancient cultures encoded their temples, languages, and clothing with sacred symbols. They weren't primitive, they were tuned in. You can use the same principles. Create a morning ritual that aligns your body, mind, and energy. Use breath to activate your field. Use sound mantras, frequencies, vibration to clear distortions. Use movement to open channels. And most importantly, charge your words. Every time you speak, you are casting a spell. That's why it's called spelling. The elite know this. They speak carefully, with precision. They don't joke about failure. They don't say I'm broke, or I'm tired, or I can't. Because they know the field is always listening, and the field takes everything literally. Now let's go even deeper. There's an underground teaching that's been passed through lineages for thousands of years. It says, as above, so below. As within, so without. This isn't just poetic. It's a literal map of creation. What happens in your inner world dictates what manifests in the outer. The elite use this law in reverse. They create massive changes in their environment by making micro adjustments in their energy. They shift their reality not by force, but by precision. And this brings us to the most powerful aspect of the forbidden hack, neutrality. The elite know that attachment slows energy. When you need something to happen, you create resistance. But when you can hold a vision with love, without grasping, the field flows unobstructed. That's the balance. Intense desire, zero need. Passion without pressure. This is the razor's edge of manifestation. And when you walk it, reality bends. So I ask you again, can you desire something without becoming dependent on it? Can you hold the frequency of abundance while having nothing in your bank account? Can you feel love without needing it from another? Because that is the test. That is the gate, and few can pass it. But those who do become unstoppable not because they control others, but because they've mastered themselves. This is the forbidden energy hack. Not a technique, but a transformation. Not a trick, but a remembering. It's the return to your original essence, the part of you that doesn't chase, doesn't fear, doesn't beg. The part that commands reality simply by being itself. The elite didn't invent it. They just never forgot it. And now, neither will you. Part 3. The final frequency shift. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when the seeker becomes the signal. It is not a dramatic moment, not loud or cinematic. It is silent, still, but unmistakably real. You wake up one morning and realize you no longer need to believe in your power because you are living it. You are no longer visualizing the life you desire, you are breathing it into form with every thought, every breath, every interaction. This is the moment where the forbidden energy hack is no longer a concept, but a living current moving through you. The elite have lived in this frequency for generations. It's not about wealth or status, it's about energetic command. They've learned to hold their internal state as the governing force of their reality. They don't just talk about energy, they embody it. And in their presence, things move. People align. Events rearrange. Why? Because they've become the dominant vibration in every room they enter. And the universe doesn't follow titles, it follows frequency. You've probably felt it before. You've walked into a room and instantly sensed the tension, or the joy, or the heaviness. That's not intuition, it's entrainment. Energy fields sync. The stronger field always wins. The elite know this. That's why they don't try to convince. They don't argue. They don't compete. They simply hold their frequency so consistently that the world calibrates around them. This is the real influence, not control, coherence. But coherence requires inner integrity. You cannot project a frequency you don't live. You cannot fake alignment. The field sees through performance. It only responds to resonance. That's why many people try to manifest and fail, not because the method is wrong, but because their frequency is fractured. They're saying one thing, feeling another, and acting from fear. The elite refuse to live in that dissonance. They audit their thoughts. They confront their shadows. They clean their emotional house daily. And yet they don't strive. They don't hustle. Because they understand that force is the language of the powerless. The truly powerful don't push, they pull. They magnetize. When they want something, they don't chase it. They become the version of themselves who already has it. And because energy precedes matter, matter follows. This is not philosophy. This is physics. The field responds to identity, not desire. So who are you being right now? Not what are you doing, but who are you being? Are you being the version of yourself that already lives your vision? Or are you still waiting for the evidence to feel certain? Because the field doesn't wait. It reflects, it echoes, it amplifies. The elite understand this, and so they live from the end. They speak from the outcome. They respond to life from the vibration of completion, not longing. Let's go even deeper. The forbidden energy hack works because it taps into the architecture of the universe itself, feedback loops. Every thought sends a signal. Every emotion adds charge. Every action grounds it into form. The more consistent the loop, the faster the manifestation. That's why rituals matter. That's why repetition matters. That's why discipline is not punishment, it's precision. The elite don't try to manifest. They wire their reality through daily energetic behavior. And yet, the most powerful thing they do is this: they release. They let go. They know that clinging strangles energy, that desperation creates delay. So even as they hold the vision, they surrender the how. They trust the field. They move with it. They don't force outcomes, they sculpt space. They create the conditions for the miracle and then step aside. And the miracle shows up. This is what most people get wrong. They think they need to manipulate reality. But reality doesn't need to be manipulated, it needs to be aligned with. Reality is not your enemy. It is your echo. It's not trying to test you. It's trying to match you. And the more you resist, the more distorted the reflection becomes. But the moment you surrender not to weakness, but to wisdom, you start seeing with clarity. You start moving with grace. So what does this look like in practice? It means waking up and feeling first. Before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, anchor in the frequency of the reality you choose. Breathe it. Embody it. Walk into your day as if it's already done. Not from delusion, but from decision. You are not hoping. You are hosting the future in your now. It means guarding your field like a sacred garden. What you eat, what you watch, who you spend time with, these are not small choices. They are energetic contracts. Every moment, you are either amplifying your signal or leaking it. The elite know this. That's why they are selective, not out of ego, but out of alignment. They know that frequency is fragile until it becomes embodied. And once it's embodied, it becomes unshakable. It also means honoring your body, not as a machine, but as a temple. Your body is not separate from your spiritual power, it is the vehicle of it. Every breath, every movement, every rest cycle is part of your energetic broadcast. You cannot manifest from depletion. You cannot create from burnout. The elite invest in vitality because they know that energy is the real currency. Without it, nothing moves. But perhaps the most sacred part of the hack is presence. You have to be here, fully. Not in your head, not in your future, not in your past. Right now. Because now is the only point where energy becomes matter. Now is the portal. Now is the spell. The elite have mastered presence. They are not distracted. They are not scattered. They are here. And because they are here, they shape what comes next. So I ask you the deepest question yet. Can you be so present, so aligned, so vibrationally whole that the future has no choice but to bow to you? Can you become the version of yourself that no longer needs to manifest because you've become the resonance that draws all things to you naturally? Can you walk through the world with such deep inner stillness that life bends to your rhythm, not because you forced it, but because you became the rhythm? This is the forbidden hack, not an external tool, but an internal revolution, a return to your original design. The part of you that doesn't hustle, doesn't beg, doesn't wish. The part of you that remembers. The part of you that knows. The elite didn't invent it. They simply claimed it. And now you can too. You don't need permission. You don't need credentials. You only need willingness. The willingness to stop living small, to stop leaking power, to stop waiting for signs and start becoming the sign. That's when things change. Not slowly, not someday, but instantly. Because when your field is clear, your mind is silent, your emotions are aligned, and your actions are intentional, reality bends. Not as a favor, as a law. And that law now belongs to you.